Good morning.
What's up, Joe?
Kayla, I clicked the link in the calendar invite.
On the oh, I'm sorry. Was that the wrong one?
It was very lonely.
My bad.
It's okay.
See, that's the thing is we all use the calendar invites and not the links anywhere else. So we got it happened in our morning huddle this morning too.
Well, we used to use Google for everything, and then we moved to this Outlook calendar. And so I still had like some people on Google and some people on Outlook. I'm sorry, Chase. That was my bad.
You're good.
How was your Thanksgiving, Mr. Chase?
It was good. How about yours?
It was awesome. To hang out with my kiddo. He's getting to the age where he like understands holidays. And then we put up a Christmas tree, and then all weekend he kept saying, "Daddy, I love the Christmas tree."
Nice.
So that's it. Last year he was too young to say it, so I'm excited.
How old is he?
He's turning 4 in April.
Nice.
When I taught this in Phoenix a couple weeks ago, they time blocked me 45 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
I'd be curious to see their outline for it.
It's the same PDFs. Like their whole time with script practice and everything, I think, was from 9 to 10.
Well, like the actual outline also has contract practice in every day.
Gotcha. They might do that separate.
Maybe.
Yeah, so hey, Kayla, let me know once we get through the script part of it and jump back on and take over if we need to.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to jump off a little early because I have orientation too. So if you can help with that.
Oh yeah.
I'm on my way to orientation.
It's okay.
Hey, I'm excited to have you, Letha.
It is 9:04. I'm gonna let Chase take over, guys. So cameras on if you can, please. If you don't have any background noise, unmute yourself. Other than that, join in, jump in, learn some goodness. Taught by the very own Chase, the master. And I love his hat. It's good stuff.
All right. Good morning. I thought it was December 1st all morning until I saw my calendar. So we are still in November. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I know a couple people on here. I'll give you kind of 30,000 foot level of me. I am with Team Integrity, Director of Growth. So handle everything from recruiting to coaching to training to everything else. Refilling the toilet paper at KLP, just a bunch of random stuff. So let's dive in. I will share my screen and I will attempt to do technology for the next hour and a half or so. Sound like a plan? Yep. Nod. Somebody hear me? Yes, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll. Let me share my screen. This is my third Zoom call of the day already. All right. So talking about your database is your business. I think that this is one of my favorite Ignite sessions to teach, primarily for the reason because without your database, you don't have a business. Pretty much as simple as explaining it as that. So as we talk about growing our database and building our database, some very important key facts that we're going to look at is who belongs in your database is usually the first mental block that we've got to come across. And then the next one is what is a contact, and then how do you work that contact, so on and so forth. So let me start this out by saying who belongs in your database. This is where you participate. Who belongs in your database?
Everyone.
Everybody. But what if their mom is a real estate agent?
That's okay.
Why is that okay?
I don't want to work with my mom.
Gotcha. Yep. So everybody belongs in your database. We are, depending upon the market, everybody knows somebody that's a real estate agent. Everybody's got a friend from high school. Everybody's got a cousin. And it can be one of the most defeating parts about real estate when you get licensed, because you start to reach out to people and you say, hey, just want to let you know I got my real estate license. I'm starting my real estate business. They go, that's great. Yeah, my cousin's a real estate agent. Or the lady that does my nails, second cousin is a real estate agent, and I use them. So it can get defeating, but what I found in this industry is that just because somebody is connected to a real estate agent doesn't mean that you cannot get business from them and you cannot provide value to them. And the reason why I say that is, so say Dan's my buddy from high school and he has a real estate license, and I feel obligated to use Dan anytime I buy or sell real estate. And there's a couple reasons behind that. One is I trust Dan. Dan's a great real estate agent. I want to use him. Next is it's going to be very awkward if I use somebody else post on Facebook that I just bought a new house and Dan's like, dude, I literally had dinner with you last weekend. How is this happening? Right now, the difference is though, I may exclusively use Dan for the rest of my life in real estate. With that being said, if somebody comes to me and says, hey, Chase, I need a real estate agent, I might go, you know what? You really need to talk to Tim. Tim would take great care of you. What I found in this industry is that there's a difference between people using somebody personally for a transaction versus somebody's willingness to refer business to somebody else. You guys tracking? Does that make sense? So staying in front of people is huge, and Jacob nailed it, is everybody belongs in your database. Everybody that you know belongs in your database. So how many of you have started building your database? Tell me about it. Tell me about your database. Is it a database that you already had and you just downloaded it and started adding to it? Or are you starting from scratch? Is it from a previous business? Tell me about your database.
I have two previous businesses that I can use the database. Well, actually, one's a current business and one's a former business.
Awesome. So you've already got some names put together because of past business relationships. Perfect.
And my husband's a contractor, so I do all his customer service, so they know me personally, and that makes it easy.
Yep, that's awesome. What else? Tell me about your database. Who's putting together a database for the very first time? Sarah put her hand up pretty quick. Sarah, I've got great news for you. You only have to do this once. It is an absolute pain in the butt doing it for the first time, but from this point forward, you're just going to add people to it. Okay?
Awesome.
It is taxing. It's mentally exhausting and it stinks. And you go, great, I got my real estate license. I can do data entry in my entire life.
Thank you for the initiation.
It gets better. It gets better. Who else has built a database for the very first time? Heather is. Awesome. Heather, this is the time where you can, you get to build a database the right way the first time. What is a pain in the butt is going back and trying to fix your database. That is no fun. It takes up a lot of time and a lot of energy that could be spent elsewhere. All right. So does everybody download their packet or they've got some information in front of them? We are going to dive into the material. And at any point, if you have any questions whatsoever, maybe not even straight out of this Ignite material, but just practical, how do you do this in your database? Stop, ask that question. I find that I've taught Ignite probably 20 times now. I've found that a lot of the great content comes from discussion, not necessarily line item by line item within the material. All right, let me share my screen. So first is this: what successful agents do every day. I want to congratulate each and every one of you. You are awake, so you have beat 95% of real estate agents in Tucson. If there's one thing that real estate agents do very well, it's sleep. All right. So you are up, you are learning, you are ahead of the curve. So the first one is this: what successful agents do every day. They grow their business and they run their business. So what does growing your business look like? One is they lead generate for buyers and sellers. They lead generate for buyers and sellers. Now, if you're on a team, maybe you only do half the transaction, you only represent buyers or you only represent sellers. At the end of the day, the first two words of this is very important, that you lead generate. Stop here for a sec. I want to apologize for anybody that told you that you get into real estate because you love sales. That is hands down the biggest myth of real estate. When you get your real estate license and you sign up with the brokerage and you start to build your business, you are a professional lead generator. Everything stops and starts with lead generation. You can't sell anything if you don't have any clients, right? So everything starts with lead generation. If you want to look at every successful agent that is, let's just say on a micro level, in Tucson with Keller Williams, their day starts with lead generation and usually their day ends with lead generation. Lead generation is the heart of real estate. Two is they make listing presentations and get listings. Number three, they make buyer presentations and get listings. Both of these have this really crazy word in there called presentations. If you do not have a buyer or a listing presentation, that needs to be a very big rock in your day until you get it done. There's different tools out there. Dan can hook you up with some. Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, you can customize them. Having a buyer and listing presentation, in my opinion, is pivotal. And next is they preview real estate. Tell me, why is it important to preview real estate on a regular basis?
Know what's out there.
To know what's out there. Perfect. So to know the inventory. What else? Why is it important to go out and preview real estate?
You know, market value, you do your research on it and compare it to what's in the area, and you get a better understanding of how to price property listing clients.
Yep, absolutely. Another one is to be able to speak intelligently about the product. To speak intelligently about the product. As Tucson grows and expands and new homes are being built and old homes are being sold, there is a drastic difference in floor plans, in features, right? One of my favorite things in Facebook groups for real estate is when somebody posts a picture and says, does anybody have a clue what this is? Right? Because every house has different things in them. So that when you have real live clients, you can speak intelligently about the property instead of saying, I don't know. Okay. So growing a business, you grow a business by lead generating for buyers and sellers, making listing presentations and buyer presentations, and previewing real estate. So how do you run a business? How do you run your real estate business? One is to market seller listings. You get a listing and you market it, and you prospect for it. I think that if I would add in there, it would be to market and prospect for your listings. Someone tell me, take a shot at it. What is the difference between marketing and prospecting? So like team integrity, we'll close 725 homes this year, and we are a prospecting based team that is marketing enhanced. So tell me, what's the difference between prospecting and
Prospecting
marketing?
is cold calling and talking to, everyone and anyone that you come across.
Yep. So let's look at it this way. Now the client the potential client has a part in this process, but Nicole, if I send you a mailer, that's marketing, right? I'm paying for a goods and service, and I am praying that at some point between your mailbox and the trash can, you're going to look at it and be enticed, right? At some point, right? The difference with prospecting would be me going, I'm doing an open house in your neighborhood. Instead of sending a flyer, I go knock on your door.
Right.
Or
But if you have a marketing flyer with you, then that's market enhanced.
Yep.
Prospecting.
So prospecting base says, I'm going to put myself in control of the conversations that I'm going to have, right? Circle prospecting, whatever that looks like, versus marketing in some level. You are hoping that somebody's going to engage or take the time out of their day to listen, right? Raise your hand if you have too much time in your day right now. Yeah. So very few people have too much time, right? A lot of people don't have margin. So that's where marketing can get tricky. Prospecting is you are engaging and you are meeting somebody face to face or over the phone. So prospecting or marketing sellers listings. Next is showing buyers houses. This industry and this market has changed quite a bit over the last about 24 months. How long has chime in real quick. How long has everybody been a real estate agent for?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Since October.
October.
Couple weeks.
Couple weeks. Anybody been in the industry longer than a year? Okay. So showing buyers houses has drastically changed over the last 24, 48 months. 24 months ago, you used to be able to go out and print off the 10 homes that your client wanted to see, right? You could go and say, I want to go look at these 10 properties. If you printed them out Saturday morning to go show Saturday afternoon, there's a good chance you could go and show those. Now, when you go show properties, and the majority of the buyers agents on our team show 1 to 2 properties a day versus 10 in a 5 or 6 hour window. What's the reason behind that? What are we the lowest at right now in history for Tucson? Inventory. So showing properties has drastically changed over the last 2 years versus I want to go see this one house and I need to go see it right now because by the time I get there, there's probably going to be 5 other offers on it. Versus when the average days on market was, 40 to 50 days, you had time and you had margin within your business. So that's just a little example of how agents' businesses have changed and how they run them has changed. Time is of the essence in a big way. Negotiate contracts. I want to challenge everybody on this call to do this. We have got a phenomenal broker at Keller Williams. I think Lisa is one of the best brokers out there. I want to challenge you to do this. Go present a contract to Lisa. Schedule a time with Lisa and say, Lisa, I want to explain the purchase contract to you. How many of you that makes you a little bit nervous? Explaining the purchase contract to the broker. That's something that we do with the agents on our team. It's in their hire on that they've got to 30 days go and present the purchase contract to you. Why is that important? Why is it important to be able to effectively and concisely present the purchase contract?
And for the experience and to make sure that you have everything done correctly.
Yep. Yep. This is our hammer. Okay. And here's what I mean by that. A framer, their number one tool is their hammer, right? Like that is what they do. They swing a hammer. That is the most important tool that they will always have on them. The purchase contract for us is our hammer. We have got to know that thing front and back. And here's how you know if you know the purchase contract at a high level. Can you explain it to somebody upside down? Meaning, if they're sitting across the table from you and they're looking at it how they can read it, and you're looking at it from upside down, and you can intelligently articulate each section to them, that is a indicator that you know the contract at a high level. So if you're looking for a benchmark, get to that point. Number 4, transaction management to closing. There are various ways to do this. You can do this on your own, or you can hire a TC. Some of you, if you know the disc profile that are more on the SC part of the disc profile, would probably love to manage their own transactions. I am the complete opposite of that. You could triple the cost for a transaction coordinator and I'd still pay it, because I am not the paperwork guy. All right. I love the transaction management leverage side through transaction coordinators. Number 5, vendor management. Someone explain to me what they think vendor management is.
It's like the title person and the loan officer and the, I don't know all my terminology yet, the escrow officer,
Yep.
home insurance person.
Home warranty, home inspectors, all that. Why do you think they included in here that we need to do vendor management?
Because we have to learn it.
Go ahead, Nicole.
We have to learn it. We have to know who to go to, which is exactly the information that you need to start, right? I mean, to really know what you're doing when you get a client.
Yep. So there's twofold. You nailed a lot of it. There's twofold reason why we need to manage vendors. One is that we need to consistently follow up with them through the transaction. Now, say it's a lender or it is your title company. Even if everything is going smooth in the transaction, you still need to follow up with them. Right now, between refinances for lenders and traditional purchase, they are absolutely swamped. Same with title as well. So we should not be reactive in those relationships. We need to be proactive in those relationships. You may schedule 30 minutes on Monday and 30 minutes on Thursdays, where your sole purpose during that time is to reach out and to contact your vendors and just to get an update on all your deals, to make sure that you're staying ahead of any potential issues, right? How many of you would rather get a phone call or not a phone call, deal with a situation of, again, Nicole is my lender, and I call Nicole and I say, hey, how's everything going? They say, good. We could have a potential issue, but I think I'm working it out. It's X, Y, and Z. Versus getting a phone call from Nicole that says, hey, we have an issue and we're supposed to close in 3 days. That's vendor management, staying ahead of the curve.
My biggest question on some of this stuff is like, how involved is an agent with the client's personal information on all of their finances and stuff? Like, I've bought houses, but I don't remember my agent being so involved. Like, it seems like you guys are saying that we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a difference between being in the know and being involved. Okay. Being involved would be, you're helping them get loan documents. You're doing this, which is that is on the client, right? We should not be handling financial and pertinent information in that aspect. Now, being in the know is different. Being in the know is, hey, Big Dan's my lender and I'm the agent, and Sarah's our client, and Dan's tried to reach out to Sarah 5 times and can't get a hold of her because they need updated bank statements, right? I'm not going to Sarah's bank and getting the bank statements. I am sure as heck calling Sarah and saying, hey, Sarah, Dan's tried to call you. If you want to get this house closed and you don't want to be in breach of contract, you've got to get these documents.
You're like the middleman who's initiating them to do what they need to do for the vendor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're playing the safety, right? And like in football, you've got a defensive line. That's all your vendors, taking care of everything. If something comes past and they need help, you're there to help. Because at the end of the day, if they don't get those documents in, they don't get the house. Dan doesn't get paid on the load side. Title doesn't get paid. You don't get paid, right? Everybody now has a vested interest to see this cross the touchdown line, right? So it's what you will find, the difference between great agents and decent agents is great agents don't have a phrase in their brain that says, that's not my job. Great agents will do what it takes to help their clients because our fiduciary duty, right, is to serve our clients the highest level possible. Sometimes that means making an extra phone call that really is not your job, but you do it anyways. So the next part of vendor management is this. Why do you think it should be a priority for you to record and document and track the business that is sent to certain vendors? Why should you track how many escrows go to title security, how many go to fidelity, how many times you've used Bob the Builder, home inspectors? Why should we track that?
So you know who works the best for you, so you know who to go to for the next time to get your job done.
Yep, that's a part of it. The other part too is to be able to use that for future marketing. So like Team Integrity, we're very big on client appreciation events. We've got one this Saturday. It allows you to have those conversations with them. Let's say Robin is my home inspector, and I've sent Robin 30 deals over the last year where clients have paid her $400 on average to do home inspection. And I've got a client appreciation event that comes up. My phone call to Robin is going to be, hey, Robin, we've got a client appreciation event coming up at Golden Pins. And is Golden Pins closed? At Fiesta Lanes. At Fiesta Lanes, we're doing bowling. And, we've been able to partner together 30 times this year. And a lot of those clients are actually going to be at the party. Would you mind sponsoring the pizza and drinks for the party?
That would be fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me to come see my past clients, right?
Absolutely.
So those are the type of things you want to be able to track and to inspect what you expect out of a relationship. All right, let's get rolling. Set goals. We've got to set goals. We set 3 different types of goals within our business: a survival goal, a success goal, and a stretch goal. Survival is, what do I need to make per year that I'm not going on vacation, I'm eating ramen a couple times a week, but I'm paying my bills. Success is the standard goal. This is what I'd like to do this year. And then stretch is, man, if I hit this number, I get to do X, Y, and Z. Buy an investment property, pay for my kid to go to college, whatever that looks like. Compliance and risk management is pretty self-explanatory. 8 is attend training and get coaching. Good job. You nailed that one. And number 9 is manage money. Manage money. I hope everybody is running a business here, which means tracking expenses and running a profit and loss statement. If you need a great, easy tool to do that, I suggest everybody download CTE. It's CTE. It's called Commitment to Excellence. And I believe it is free for agents because we've got an account through Keller Williams Southern Arizona. So it is a great system on how to track. All right. So let's dive right into this. The big picture. A well-tended database produces leads. A well-tended database produces leads. A powerful database managed by a powerful schedule produces a predictable flow of leads. If you have a hard copy or if you can highlight anything, highlight that word predictable. Real estate can be extremely predictable. And from a predictable flow of leads, you can expect a predictable flow of business. So real estate can be extremely predictable and really is a math equation. When you start to track your numbers at a high level, how many contacts you make per day, and this is all stuff that you can do in CTE. And again, I suggest we've got a natural time where we're coming up to the first of the year. You can start something new on the first of the year and it's great. When like with our agents, I can tell you with every single one of our agents, the exact amount of phone calls they need to make per day to close a transaction because we track it every single day. We track how many calls, how many held appointments they have, how many contracts, and how many closings. So I can, as a matter of fact, like Juan, for example, on our team, I can pull up his numbers and I can tell him based off tracking his numbers for the last 4 or 5 years is how much he gets paid per phone call that he makes. That is a powerful number to be able to have and recall. So a database will have a living record of business relationships, helps nurture and manage relationships, produces a predictable flow of business, and improves service and strengthens relationships. So a well-tended database produces leads. Powerful database managed by a powerful schedule produces a predictable flow of leads. So what is a database? What is the purpose of your database? What makes a database valuable? What other industries use a database for prospecting marketing? And what makes targeted marketing effective? So what is the purpose of your database? What is the purpose of your database?
Keeping track of how many phone calls I've made and how many leads I have and following up.
Yep. Do you remember a time when you used to remember people's phone numbers?
Yes, I still know my phone number from my childhood.
That is awesome, Sarah. I do too. Outside of probably 5 phone numbers, I can't tell you my daughter's phone number.
Right.
I can't tell you my mom's. I can tell you my dad's, my wife's, mine, and again, like Sarah said, the one that I grew up with in San Diego. Then you go into birthdays, then you go into home anniversaries, and all that stuff. The purpose of a database is to create a system and to remember, right? There are so many. So what makes a database valuable? What makes a database valuable? Did you know that you can sell a real estate business? Isn't that crazy to think about? The kind of the old school thought was that one day when you do real estate, you just retire. You just retire. And then your database just ceases to exist. But with you can make your database extremely valuable by the information that is put into it and the quality of the content provided. There's probably been more real estate companies sold in the last year than the previous history of real estate. So there really is a lot of opportunity there by creating a valuable database. Next is, what other industries use databases for prospecting and marketing? What other industries use databases at a high level?
All the telemarketing.
Yep.
I did in the food business, food sales.
Perfect. Food sales. Auto industry. Apparently every single extended car warranty company on the face of this planet, because they call me 5 times a day. Who else? You know what industry I think does a phenomenal job is two actually. One is the Ritz Carlton. If you want to do a deep dive on customer service, study the Ritz Carlton. Absolutely phenomenal. Did you know that the Ritz Carlton sets a budget for every single person that stays in their hotel? It's basically a discretionary fund. They can spend, I think, up to $250 on every person that stays at the Ritz Carlton, be it for gifts or whatever. Pretty cool model there. The other one is insurance business. Most insurance companies use a CRM at a very high level. Next one is, what makes target marketing effective? So what's the difference between marketing and target marketing?
Target marketing is more specific, right? It's like you have each of us have a specific client that we probably cater to, and it's directly, like the Ritz Carlton has a very specific client.
Absolutely. So an example, just to make it real, for our team, we do a lot of military relocation. So we can market to all of Tucson, or that we can directly target market to areas around Davis-Monthan and high rental areas around Davis-Monthan that have turnover from active duty men and women military that are relocating in. So extremely important. All right, let me share my screen. We'll take a break in about 5 or 10 minutes for 5 or 10 minutes. So 3 levels of a Millionaire database. 1, the first essential contact information is this: a name. We have got to have a name. Contact info. What are some examples of contact info?
Phone number, address, birth date, any
Yep.
email.
Social media profile. Most good CRMs nowadays will be able to see if there's a social media profile linked to that client's name or email or phone number. Why would social media profile be important?
Because so many people don't answer phones anymore.
Yep. It's a good one. What else? I can't tell you the power of social media through connected individuals. What I mean by that is I connect, let's use, they're on my screen, Sarah and Robin again. So Sarah's a potential client that I met at an open house. I log in, put her information, and it pops up her social media profile. I click on it and I see that she's friends with Robin, and Robin I've known for 15 years. Now I've got a person of peace, if you will, to where I could reach out to Robin and go, yeah, I met one of your great friends, Sarah. Oh, I know Sarah. Our kids go to school together. I see her Monday through Friday when I pick the kids up from school. Now I've built a bridge, a relationship bridge, if you will, that is going to potentially allow me to have more clout with Sarah because somebody is vouching for me on my behalf. That's one of the benefits of social media profiles. Past business and past contact record. We use a CRM called Follow Up Boss because it works for us. But we can look back and see every piece of communication that we have. I can tell you with some of our people how many times we've called them since 2015. That is important information. At will communication. At will communication. Why is it important to be able to put communication notes in your CRM? This next like 4 minutes, I think, is the best and highest use way of using a CRM. Why is
So
it?
you remember who they are, how they affect you, what you did, what happened, the notes, so you sound intelligent when you talk to them again.
Yep. So the most important thing Nicole said, I think, is when you talk to them again. Okay. So say Nicole's in my database. I talked to Nicole. I talked to her in the beginning of October, and Nicole says, it's just a regular, what we call care calls. I'm calling Nicole just to see how she is, to check in, because I call her every 60 to 90 days because she's a past client. And Nicole says, I said, so what are you guys doing for the holidays? And Nicole says, we're taking it easy this year because I am going to Paris for a week in February. Awesome. When are you going? February 1st. Great. I'm putting notes in my CRM that says, call Nicole the last week. And I'm setting a reminder to call her the last week of January. And I'm going to call Nicole and email her 3 articles of the must-see places in Paris. Now, in Nicole's mind, Nicole is saying, man, Chase is just a stud. He absolutely cares about me and remembered my special trip to Paris. In all actuality, I woke up January 26th and my CRM said, call Nicole, send this document. Right? So much of our conversations are not about real estate. They're about life. Gary Keller has a quote that he said at a family reunion 2 or 3 years ago in New Orleans. And it says, it's disingenuous to only show up in people's lives when they're looking to buy or sell real estate. I'm gonna say that again. It's disingenuous to only show up into people's lives when they're looking to buy or sell real estate. Let me dumb it down for you because I'm a dumb redneck. Is this? It stinks to call people when you only want something from them, right? We all have got that friend, and if you don't have your friend, maybe this is you, where they have successfully sold every single market level marketing product that is out there. In January, they sell you candles. In February, they sell you oil. And in March, they sell you ab wraps, right? And you know that every single time they call you, it's because they want to sell you something. So make sure that you're putting in there those communications, track record and timeline so that you can speak intelligently and that you care about them. Effective. So we got the essential. Let me share my screen. Sorry. Essential is name, contact info, past business, and at-will communication. The second is this. What is effective database management? One is you obtain permission. Can I call you? When would be a great time to call you next? How often would you mind if I called you and gave you a market update? 6, collect personal information, insight, and preferences. This is where we talk about on our team is to have essentially an HR file on all of our contacts in our database. Number 7, segment and group based on a 1 to 6, and 8, purposeful and consistent communication. Next is this. How do we have an exceptional database? Automated custom communication built around triggers, like we have triggers in our databases. It's going to alert us when somebody's logged in for the first time or again. So we know that somebody may be dormant for a while, but as soon as they re-engage, we can re-engage back with them. All right, so why use a database? Avoid the today trap and a predictable ROI. There's two types of businesses, today's and tomorrow's. Without a database, your business is built only for today. So having that database allows us to not have database roulette, right? You wake up and you go, I wonder who I should call today. And you just look through your phone, right? And you go, oh, Joe, I haven't talked to Joe. I'll call Joe. And one of the downfalls of that is we will avoid calling people that we haven't talked to yet, to avoid awkward conversations. So by using your database, you're working for today and tomorrow. So why use the database? Take advantage of a predictable ROI. Average ROI in your database is 10 to 1 to 14 to 1. For every dollar that you invest in your database, expect at least $14 of a return. And those numbers will increase a lot more through referral business. One of the most beautiful things is when the phone starts to ring in the opposite direction. When people start to call you for real estate, or they call you because they have a referral. And that only really happens through that consistent, constant communication with people in our database. So
how long do you estimate that to happen?
Well, every database is going to be different, and it depends on how much work you put into your database. So when there's no set timeline for that. And depending on your database or where you're at in life, it just changes. An example, Javier on our team, Javi is 27 years old. And for the first 2 years of real estate, he always called out because nobody really in his sphere was buying houses yet. Now, a couple years later, people are calling him. They know that he's a real estate agent, and they're now in their position in their life where they can buy a house. So it really just all depends. And a lot of the times we found is it goes in waves. The phone won't ring calling inbound for 2 months, and then all of a sudden you'll get 4 people that call in 1 week. You know, it just, as your database gets seasoned and as you service your clients at a high level, when they have a real estate need, they will call you. But you've got to stay in front of them and talk to them even when they don't have a real estate need. That's the key. So, all right, we are going to take a 10-minute break. So please, if you've got to make up phone calls or whatever you got to do that right now. We will start back at 10 on the dot. So do whatever you got to do right now. We'll take a 10-minute break, and we will be back at 10 o'clock. See you in a few. All right, let's roll. All right. So, why use database? Take advantage of predictable ROI. Three important considerations. So, predictable ROI. How can you have a predictable return on investment? And uh, the struggle for most individuals getting into real estate, or those that have actually been in real estate for a long time, is the unpredictable income that can happen from month to month. So there's a couple ways of getting around this, and not getting around this, but making this not an issue. Uh, and one is through your database. One is the lowest cost lead. The cheapest customer acquisition strategy is to work with existing customers and people who know and like you and trust you. So the lowest cost lead is our sphere. That relationship's already been cultivated. Usually costs next to nothing besides maybe the cost of CRM to stay in contact with them. Next is lowest conversion cost. Lowest conversion cost. When properly built and maintained, a database will actually end up producing its own leads in the form of repeat clients and referrals. And it will also have the lowest conversion cost. So the lowest conversion cost people in your database is people that are past clients, past referrals that you have up on a drip campaign or an action plan that you call them every so many days, or email templates, whatever that looks like, where it's kind of on autoplay and people are engaging from those. And then the next one is this, number 3, it pays for itself. A database makes it easier to do consistent follow-up. And when you're good at consistent follow-up, the leads will end up paying for themselves. It'll pay for itself. So whatever money you could invest into your database for marketing purposes will end up paying for itself, and then some. So developing your database, marketing versus prospecting. We've talked about this. When we look at the triangle, prospecting is the base of our business. And then we market on top to kind of fill in the cracks, so on and so forth. Prospecting, immediate results. So prospecting will have immediate results, meaning if you are, let's use an example of calling people. If you are calling people, you're going to get an opportunity to have more immediate results because you can answer questions on the fly, versus you mail out a magnet people stick on their fridge, and they walk by and they go, man, I really should have called Chase. And they walk by it 5 times over the next 6 weeks and say the same exact thing. Oh man, I should have called Chase. I need to call Chase about this. Life happens. Next is proactive. It's proactive. The next is time intensive. So if there is a downfall, or you want to call it a downfall from prospecting, is it does take time. It does take time. On average, people on our team lead generate for 2 to 3 hours a day. But once you wrap your head around that everything stems from prospecting, it makes the time investment a little bit easier. So with marketing, there's long-term results, or there potentially can be. And it's a long-term play. It's a long-term expenditure as well with marketing. It can be passive, meaning you can put money out there and money can come back. You can hit enter and the marketing goes out, and then it'll come back to you, usually on a 1% to 3% return. But it is money intensive. Okay. One of the biggest misconceptions is that if you don't have business, go throw money at the wall and see if something sticks. The last thing you do when you don't have money is spend money. It's usually a good rule of thumb for budgeting all the way around. Prospecting usually is very cost effective. So feed it constantly, segment into groups, engage with a touch plan, and tended over time. So one of the other things to look at when we prospect is not everybody deserves equal time. Everybody in our database, not everybody deserves equal time. What do I mean by that? Is if you have somebody who consistently sends you referrals, let's say 6 a year, every other month they're sending you somebody that they're advocating for you. That person deserves more time than a cold lead that you met at an open house 2 years ago, right? Not everybody is created equal in regards to the time investment that you're going to give them in your database. Next is this, creating tags, business relationships. Somebody that hasn't done business with yet, active client, past client, hobbies, interest. So creating tags within your CRM is huge. It allows you to search by those tags as well. What are an example of some tags that you could associate with somebody in your database? What are some tags that you could associate people with in your database?
Maybe things like, I don't know, I would say dentists, but maybe like doctors or, schools,
Absolutely.
kids, things. Or
first responders.
yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
So, and the reason why we do this, and Sarah nailed it, is like she was going down the track with nurses, dentists, all that stuff. If you had a tag of nurse, okay, what is one way that you could provide great value and a great touch with people if their tag was nurse in your database? So like we just had Nurses Week, right? What a great opportunity where you could search the tag of nurse and make a personal phone call to those nurses that are in your database and say, hey, I just want to thank you so much. I know that you're a nurse. Thank you so much for what you do. So, but by looking at that, it has nothing to do with real estate. Nothing to do with real estate. So lots of opportunities there. So tags, you can color coordinate them as well within your database. So leads and contacts. People, so what is a lead? People you have the right to at least have a one-way conversation with. One-way conversation with. So if we look at a touch campaign, this is an example. It is 4 touches, so quarterly phone calls, very easy to do, and usually you can plan those around a calendared event that's going on, meaning you can call everybody on the 4th of July, you can call everybody around Thanksgiving. There's tons of different opportunities out there throughout the year. 12 touches through a monthly email, newsletter, market report, or video. So once a month, you can give them in a creative and engaging way what's going on in our market, what's going on within interest rates or whatever that looks like. 2 touches, direct mail, such as magnet, calendar, marketing report. My big one with if people are going to do magnets or those type of mail outs is don't do something that is seasonal. Meaning I used to, when I first got licensed, I did U of A magnet football calendars. That's great during U of A football season. Nobody cares about the football schedule in May. So finding that, one of the best ones, I think personally, is conversion ratios for measurements. That is one that can stay up there all the time. And then 1 touch, annual event, party, movie screening together. So there's different options of how you want to move that around with your leads. For example, our team, we do 3 to 4 client appreciation events every year. We are very big on client appreciation events. So we don't do really any mailers. So we'll replace those with client appreciation events. So touch campaign for contacts. connected by permission or because you know them. They're interactive and value-based. So a 36 touch would look like 4 telephone calls, biweekly email offering, 2 touches through events, or 4 touches through promotional type marketing. Any questions so far around marketing versus prospecting or database management? All right. So there are 2 ways to tend your database. First one is this: build a culture around testimonials and reviews. Build a culture around testimonials and reviews. Next one is regularly update and prune your database. So tending your database. We get reviews from everybody we close a transaction with. After, I think 2 days after we close, we have a alert that says send them the link to do a Zillow review for us. And it is a very replicatable part of our business, and it happens to every single person we close, which is why if you go to Zillow and look at reviews for agents, Team Integrity is up tops for amount of reviews, because it's an integral part of our business. Regularly update and prune your database. What does that mean to regularly update and prune your database?
I would think that would mean just always taking notes. If people aren't, picking up, taking note of that. And if they haven't picked up for a while, then obviously you put that in the cold section.
Absolutely. Yeah, Sarah nailed it. Is updating. People get new phones, they change jobs, their business line changes, business email changes, personal, whatever that looks like. Or someone gets married, has a kid or whatnot. You want to update that accordingly. And pruning your database too is changing the action plans that people are on. Maybe somebody moved away, or they moved to a different country or whatnot. Pruning your database, or maybe there's people in your database that you just do not want to do business with ever again, or ever do business with in general. There's a list of people that I will never represent or have our team represent in real estate. So pruning your database is also one as well. All right. What is a aha through this that you picked up that you're going to immediately implement into your business? What is a action step that you can take into your business in regards to your database?
Always keep up on the people in my database and always edit what I have, like what information I have about them.
Absolutely. So we talk about workflow a lot. And workflows go back to a carpenter or a framer. We talked about it a little bit ago. Was a carpenter or framer has good workflow, meaning they've got a tool belt. They don't typically, take one nail and then one hammer with them, and then go back to the truck and get another nail when they need another one, and then go back when they need a screwdriver, go back when they need a pry bar. They've got workflow. They've got everything set up. When they get to a job site, they unroll everything. They get everything they're going to have or need for that day out, because they see the loss of time that takes place when you're going back and forth to the truck, so on and so forth. The same thing happens within our business, is setting up your workflow throughout the day. Through Google Chrome, that's what we use. You can set up the tabs that you want to have open when you open up your browser, and we've got workflow set up. One of the greatest things, especially when you're prospecting, is having dual screens. That is huge, and it increases productivity tenfold. It'll pay for itself in the first month. So make sure that you've got your workflow set up. And as Jacob was talking about, updating everything is who you have that you are talking to. Make sure that you have them up on your screen, their HR file, if you will, on them, so that you can actively and in real time put notes in. Have you ever taken a phone call from somebody driving and completely forgot what you told them that you were going to do? Yeah. Every single person has done that at least once, maybe twice, even this morning. So make sure that you've got everything set up so that you can make and track and have good notes set up. Your database, right, has the word data in it. The data out is only as good as the data that you put into it. What else? What are some ahas or some things that you're going to implement into your database immediately?
Implementing better tags.
Better tags, absolutely. It just makes everything so much easier to find and to track, and allows you to get creative within your business of who to reach out for and why. You can add the tag veteran, right? You can add the tag cyclist, and around Tour Day Tucson, when it happens again, you can reach out to them around that. Lots of options for tags. Great aha, Robin. What else? All right. Well, if you guys need anything at all, if you ever want to pop into the office over at KLP, the Eastside office, we'd love to have you. We have agents in here every single day, all day, lead generating, circle prospecting, following up with their database at a high level. About 80% of our business is referral. So out of 725 transactions, 80% will be referral. And the only way that you get that is through good database management. So if you ever want to come sit and watch and listen or glean anything, we'd love to have you. And we love helping. You guys will actually have my business partner, Aaron, on tomorrow, I believe. So brace yourself, drink lots of coffee, and give him the absolute hardest time you possibly can. And make sure that you let him know that I was a way better instructor than he ever will be. Did I cover everything, Dan?
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, that last part was all that you needed.
That's really all. That's really all.
The last 10 minutes. That's it.
But seriously, anything, we are an open book. I don't think we've had a creative thought ever. We like to R&D, rip off and duplicate stuff from other people. So anything we have, we've stolen from somebody else. So feel free to steal it from us. But if that's it, I'm going to turn it over to you, Dan.
Awesome, guys. Well, everyone say thank you, Chase. If you guys do need his contact information, I'll get it to you.
Thank you.
Like he said, they're open.
Thank you, Chase.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks a
tons
lot.
of value.
Perfect. Have a great day, y'all.
Thanks, Chase. Appreciate it. Awesome. Well, we are at 10:18. That is a very quick class. It usually doesn't take that long. Hold on a second. I had to hang up on an agent because I'm calling during Ignite. You guys look like you're tired. Long weekends. Get back in the groove of things. The database is the most important thing you can possibly have when it comes to real estate. We're going to start doing more of our contract practice tomorrow and moving into the weeks. Today, we're kind of having a light day because we knew that we would be coming in from a holiday swing and getting people back into it. But let me ask you, how are you doing in your 10-10-2s? How many people have you added to your database so far? Tim?
I've been going through mine. I mean, I come from more of a business background, so I've been, I built those, brought those in, and then I'm trying to expand them to other people within the companies that I knew. So it's been a lot of phone calls, catching up with people, saying, hey, I never, can I follow up with you to get your email address and your home address? I'd like to follow up. I'm now working in real estate and would like to keep in touch with you. Again, trying to transition. I think a lot of us have that a previous life to the residential real estate side. So a lot of that going on.
Yeah, definitely changing the mindset where what do they think about you now, and what box do they put you in when they think of you? So it's big on change. Sarah, how's your database?
I would say that's kind of key, Dan. I think you mentioned it. I was like Tuesday of last week. People are very simple. They can only think of you in one way. And I was trying to be all kinds of people that you know, and I just, okay, I gotta simplify things for everybody.
Yeah.
So appreciate
Being
that.
the source of the source is what you want to be. The source of the source is ideal. So, Miss Sarah, how's your database coming along?
I'm calling the people that I know. Most of my people are in New England, but it's obviously fine because some of them do travel. So my ex, I have a referral. He will be purchasing a home in Florida, and then I do have one potential seller. He just bought this property in a tax auction, so a few months ago, I guess. So we will see.
Very cool. That's awesome. Miss Robin, how's your database build coming along?
It's slow, but my other job, by just opening my mouth and saying, yes, I am licensed and I'm with Keller Williams, has already generated a lead. So I'm going to start there.
There you go. Jacob, how about you?
I've been calling people, doing cold calls. I'm gonna be honest, I need to add more people to my database on command. I've just been getting their contact information. I got 2 leads for January. My old boss, her parents want to move. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I've just been calling, reaching out to people. I need to print out flyers to hand out around my neighborhood. I want to print out flyers and put them in people's mailbox around my neighborhood.
Awesome. I like it. Building, growing, and prospecting. Miss Marla, I know you've been doing this for about a year now, so you've got a little bit of a database. How's the reinvigoration of that build going?
It's small. I wish there were an easier way to put everything into command, but I know once it's in there, it's going to be a great program. It's just getting everything entering all the data.
So here's the thing for anyone that's got a large database and converting it into command. Like he said, all you got to do is once. You only got to do it once.
Right.
And when it's in there, you can download it. And if you go to a different software and system, you can upload it again. So just having the database and building it, having it all in one place, and your cell phone is not sufficient. So whatever your database number, if you got 1,500 or 5, it does not matter. Set a time to get it done by, and then break it into blocks. If you've got 2,000 people to add in the next 2 months, or the next 40 days, what is that, 50 a day? Roughly? Is that a lot to do? Absolutely. Maybe you need to take longer to do it, but break it out so that every day you're updating 10, 15, 20, as much as you can, but call them, pick up the phone like Tim's doing, re-engage conversations, change their mindset about you, replace that label they have on your name. Replace Robin at Joanne's. You know, Jacob the kid, now it's Jacob the realtor. There are some massively successful people that just get into real estate short term because they go and they talk to everyone in their database. They create massive influence and they continue on with that trend for the entirety of their career. So you don't have to be in this business 40 years to make it. Just got to do it. So awesome. It is 10:24. I want to talk about one more thing before we catch you loose, and that is my favorite 4 letters. Can you guess what they are?
Ford.
F-O-R-D. Tell me some of your questions. What are you using to get your Ford contacts out? Are you raise your hand if you're uncomfortable doing the Ford call still? 1. Okay. It gets easier the more you do it.
Right. It does.
It really does. And it just becomes habit.
I actually find it really easy. And I, as stupid as this is, like, I'm not one for small talk. Like chit chat to me is quite boring and, I just don't care. So if I find that even if I'm like, I don't know. I was at the bar the other night and I had to make conversation with somebody. I used it simply because I had nothing else to talk about with this person, and it worked. So, I mean, it's just communicating.
It is rapport communication at the highest level, at the simplest form.
And believe it or not, that's what I use when I'm at Joann's too, especially customers I already know. I've already been doing it. Who knew?
You look familiar to me too. I've probably seen you before. That's where I might know you from. Sometimes I'm like, do I know her? Sorry, Dan. Sorry.
The world's a lot more connected than we think it is, and that's correct. So when you're making your Ford calls, I want you to add this in this week. You're doing your how's your family, how's occupation, how's work going, what's going on to keep busy, what's your recreation look like, what do your dreams look like? Let's throw this in there for some lead generation. Who do you know that I need to talk to that might be interested in buying or selling a home? This is the second phase. This is when you're weaving in real estate to a Ford call. It's not just making contact, it's making contact with a purpose. And you could even start the calls out just like this. And I'll call Miss Marla. Ring, ring. Hey, Miss Marla.
Hello, how are you? Oh,
Hey, this is Big Dan call about Keller Williams. Did I catch you at a good time? You sound busy.
hey. No,
Hey,
I got a few minutes. What's up?
I'm glad I caught you. Got a little bit of business, a little bit of personal. Let's get the business out of the way if we want. Who do you know I need to talk to that's looking to get her move in the real estate market right now?
Give me a few minutes.
Yeah, I appreciate you thinking about it. I'll let you just chew on that for a little bit. How you been? How's the family?
Hey, doing good, doing good.
Good. What are you guys doing to stay busy during all this madness?
Oh, well, I've been bowling and taking care of the bowling stats and
No, very cool.
doing what I love.
Oh yeah, you said you're a big bowler. That's good stuff. Where you guys been going?
Desert Lanes.
Very cool. How's work going?
All the national tournaments have been canceled, so.
Nothing fun's happening out there. How's
So
things
what have
going
you
at work?
been doing?
Good. I've been just selling houses, you know,
Great.
putting people's dreams in driveways.
Hey, that's awesome.
So you notice that we're gonna break script there, but you know how you can go right into business and it's like the phone call gets choppy and then go into the Ford method and it wipes out the business part. Because then you don't feel cheap by doing, oh, hey, by the way, who do you know that I want to talk to? Or, hey, this is the real reason I called. I don't really care about you. I just wanted to lead. No.
Right.
Detail, a little bit of business, a little bit of pleasure. Or you can weave it in the middle of conversation. How's your family? How are things going at work? Anyone at work you've been talking to lately say that they're looking to buy or sell a house? No? Okay. If you ever come across somebody who is, please share my contact information, or if you feel comfortable, give me theirs. I'd love to help you out. What are you guys doing to stay busy? And then go on to dreams. Be creative with your Ford calls. Jason had talked about the Ford sandwich, which was just, it's layering, you know, question about them, rapport, something about real estate. Question about them, rapport, something about real estate. It's layering the call so that you're not just being friendly, like, hey, I'm thinking about you, hope you're doing well. What are you doing? I need something from you. Then you become that person like, oh, what do they want? We all have that person in our family every time they call, how much is it going to cost me? What's it going to cost me to pick up the phone right now? Right? Yeah, we all have that person. So, Jacob, can you do that?
Yeah.
So what is it about making the Ford calls uncomfortable to you?
I haven't talked to him in a while, so it's kind of weird if I just call him up asking how his family and stuff. Because I got a lot of people I haven't talked to in a while, so I need to reconnect before I just go out there and start asking them questions. Like, I have an Uncle Dan. I haven't talked to him in, I want to say, about 5 years. I know that he just had a daughter, so that would be a little bit okay to ask him how his family's doing. But other than that, I haven't talked to him in forever, so I have no idea what he's doing these days.
Okay, that's good enough reason right there. Pick up the phone. Uncle Dan, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. What's new? My nephew's 9 and he calls me out of the blue from my mom's phone. Family is easy. You don't have, even if you had a bad fallout with somebody, time erases everything. Get back in contact with them.
That's another thing. I have a lot of people that I've had bad fallouts with. How would I reconnect with those people?
Hey, Jacob, sorry it's been so long since we haven't talked. I mean, how you been? Been thinking about you lately. That simple.
Yeah.
I this year will have sold houses to 2 of my former girlfriends. This year alone. And one of them was not a very nice exit. But it was also 15 years ago. Time erases everything. Sometimes it doesn't need to be that long. I would have never had a shot in hell with selling Jill a house if it wasn't for the fact that she was on one of my call things, and my call bias told me, don't call her, Dan. No, she don't want to talk to you. She don't want to hear from you. I gave her a call and said, Jillian Ryan, how the hell are you? And she's all, oh my God, Dan, how are you? I didn't know I still had your number. I was like, I didn't know I had yours. How you been? She's all, actually pretty shitty. And then I just let her vent. And she told me how she's going through a bad relationship. They're getting divorced. Things aren't going right. And then I was like, what can I do to help? You need me to help you find something to rent? She's like, if you could, that'd be great. And she's like, well, I just appreciate talking to you. I was like, Jill, if there's anything I could do, let me know. And then 2 months later, she calls me on the blue and says, Dan, we're not going to rent a house. I'm going to buy something. Who's your guy? Let's get me pre-qualified. So call bias is a thing that will cost you money.
I've been having a lot of that.
Go ahead.
I've been having a lot of call bias.
And we will. Our brains lie to us. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and out of harm's way. And for some reason, we feel a social rejection the same as a physical ailment. We fear social rejection almost as much as we fear physical pain. The thought of getting punched in the face and getting rejected on the phone are about the same psychological response. I can tell you, in 25 years of doing this, I've been calling people since I was 8. That's a lie. I just wanted to make a big number. In all the years in thousands and thousands of phone calls I've made, not once have I ever been punched through the phone. I've been hit with a phone. I've had a phone thrown at me. I've thrown a phone, but never once have I been punched through the phone. No physical harm has ever come my way from a phone call. But you want to know something? A lot of financial distress has from not. We will push harder towards the fear of losing. So we will push harder not to feel pain of loss than we will for the reward of gain. So keep the pain in mind. What is it going to cost you not to make that phone call? Here's something I just found out. This is a real true to life story. My friend Chris Corbally, I hired him at the car dealership, trained him, promoted him into finance, went and talked to him. We did, talked, had good rapport. He said, hey, I'm looking to buy a house sometime next year. I was all, great. We haven't talked since about March, April. He bought a $500,000 house in the foothills in July. What did that cost me?
3% of $500,000.
Yeah.
$15,000 for not staying in touch with him. And you know how I found out? Because he posted a sunset picture on Facebook from his backyard. I was like, wait, this mofo lives in an apartment. So I got to work on Wednesday. This happened just Wednesday, just the other day. Got to work on Wednesday. I pulled up all the assessor's information on that property, looked up his name, and sure, true as shit, he bought a house in July. $495,000. Yeah. Remember what it cost you for not doing lead gen. And I'm telling you this stuff true as honest. I get myself in the same headspace as you are. I'm too busy. I don't have time. It's not important. I'll get to it. I'll talk to him later. That's just one instance that I have found. How many more can there be?
So I just need to get in the mindset of it's better to get rejected than to lose money.
Right.
Can I just pop in here and say really quick, like I go at this because so when I was in college, I had to do serious cold calling and it was straight up like it was terrible. And so we're not trying to sell, popsicles to people who live in igloos here. All we are simply doing is having a conversation. If these people are your friends and family, no matter what, you should just want to touch base with them and say hi. They're going to naturally ask how you're doing and what you've been up to, and naturally becoming a real estate agent will come up. So again, you're just nurturing these relationships. You're not trying to sell anything, really and truly. You're just trying to make sure that the humans in your life are doing well, and they're going to want to know about you, and it just naturally comes up. So get in the mindset of just nurturing these people and caring for them, and everything just comes out from there.
That's why it's all about building a database and nurturing it. Nowhere in this that I tell you guys to go out and get a credit card scanner and start charging people over the phone. Not how it works. It's all about nurture, nurture, nurture. I will tell you that hunters will spend weeks looking for a kill and eat once. Farmers will spend months preparing the soil, planting the seeds, nurturing the crops, and will eat for a lifetime.
Dan, can you explain that to my mom? She keeps giving me a hard time because I've been in real estate for a month and haven't made any money. So she keeps telling me to quit. Can you explain that farmer thing to her?
Is she right there?
No, she's not home right now, but her and her boyfriend have been telling me for the past month that I need to get a better job that actually pays. And I was like, I'm growing my database right now. Give me a couple months and I will start making lots of money.
That's where it's at. Tell her that. Tell her the same theology of the farmer and the hunter. There's two types of salespeople. There's farmers and hunters. Hunters go out looking for a kill, and they get a quick kill, and they eat for the night, or maybe the next few days. But farmers take a lot more time, prepare it, do it right, have a system, work it, sweat, not see the reward for a while, and they feed hunters. I have been a farmer my entire life. Can I hunt? Absolutely. Go tell somebody that, hey, they're looking to sell the house. Give me the phone number. I'm going to go hunt them. And then I'm going to turn that kill into nurture. I'm going to let it fertilize the growth of everything else in the future. So I want you all to think about every time you're doing something and you talk yourself out of making phone calls, you talk yourself out of calling this certain number or a certain person, what did it just cost you? But I love the way Jacob put it. I would much rather be rejected on the phone than lose a $15,000 commission.
So I got people my phone number or my phone that I don't even know who they are. So do I just call them and say, found this number in my phone, just wanted to call to see who it is?
Yeah. Come from curiosity. Which bar did I meet you at? Which dating site were we on? Just kidding. I know you're not old enough for either of those. And you have a girlfriend. So, but if you have random phone numbers, like I said the other day, I had question mark, and I had a question mark in my phone. We talked about this last week, a question mark, and it turned out to be a lead eventually. At least I went through and put a question mark. I don't even know who this is, but they're important enough to save. Question. So, build your databases. Remember your FORD, family, occupation, recreations, dreams. Weave in an element of real estate into every call, even if it's a simple line of, hey, if you ever need anything, it doesn't even have to be real estate related, give me a call. That's a great line. You can weave it into something. Build your databases, tag them so you can nurture them and grow them, and then have yourselves a fantastic Monday. All right? Recording will be out later today. For those of you who are watching the recording, I'd love to see some comments in the chat, comments on the post, so I know you're watching it. Other than that, everyone, go out there, enjoy your last day of November in the worst year in human record. We're so close to restarting 2021, but guess what? Christmas is around the corner. Let's start making some calls and see if we can't get some deals on the books for January. Yay! All right. Everyone have yourselves a blessed day. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Dan.
As soon